Karen Bonavilio, Inner Realms, Outer Journeys. Look who we have back on today.
Hi,
So,
everyone.
Theresa,
Hi, Karen. Thank you for having me back.
I'm happy to have you back. Well, for those of you that have not seen Theresa, she's talked about a variety of things. But let me tell you a little bit about her first. She's just down the road from me. She lives in Eugene, Oregon. She's been a practicing medium for over 11 years, and she's provided hundreds of readings, not only in person, but remotely all over the US, Canada, Mexico, Australia, and Ireland. Also, didn't you talk to that guy in Thailand too, Theresa?
Past life reading in Thailand. That was wonderful.
Yeah, you should tell that story maybe. The most important message she can give a client is a healing message from spirit. She also provides mentorship to assist others in growing their gifts and past readings using the Akashic records. So she's a jack of all trades. She's got a lot going on. She does. And today we're going to talk about kids.
Yes.
Kids who see spirits and that have no fear, and also about empathic children. So you probably have those in your life. They could be your kids or grandkids or your neighbor's kids. So Theresa, I'm just gonna let you start, and then I'll ask you some questions as we go along.
Oh, thanks, Karen. Yes, I had the experience of being a kid and having all of the scary incidences that happened. My feet being played with, shadows in my doorway, spirits talking with me and trying to get my attention. I spent a lot of times under my blanket, you know, my eye.
Mhm.
And so I've had that. And then I had a daughter who had the same experience. So I've had a lot of experiences through the years just in my own family.
Um, when you experienced it as a child, did you talk to your mom or your parents about what was going on, or did you just keep that inside for yourself?
I tried, but I was in a household with single mom with 4 kids, very low income. My mom was gone all day working. There was no,
Oh,
I couldn't talk to about it with my teachers or anything like that. For the most part, I was a very normal child. I got good grades in school. I really paid attention, but come the nighttime, that's when I was just in my alone world.
wasn't that kind of fearful for you because you had no one to bounce it off of?
Yeah, I really didn't. I got teased from my sisters, and they didn't mean to. And my brother was too young to understand. But I knew things that other people didn't know, and said things that I probably shouldn't have. Probably freaked people out, but it was just the way I felt, and I couldn't help it. I was a kid, but I always felt different.
Yeah, you wanted to be understood and you wanted to know what was going on.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Well, that's good. So, if you have a child that's seeing spirits, what's the first thing a parent or a caregiver should do?
Listen,
Not ignore like what
listen
happened to you.
to them and let them say what they're feeling, and just be positive to them and say, I understand, that you're seeing these things and I don't, but that doesn't mean that what you're seeing isn't real. Let's
Mm.
Can you draw me a picture of it? Can you tell me exactly the feeling in your stomach? Can you tell me what time of night it was it when you just went to bed? Be very specific with the question so they know you are really listening.
That's excellent advice. And drawing a picture of it is a really nice way for them to express too.
Yes, I
That's really good. More comforting.
think. Can be very comforting. I think if you approach it with love instead of fear, they're going to approach it with the acknowledgement that, oh, okay, I don't have to be afraid of this. And
Right. And they just know what they're experiencing, know what they're saying, and just want to answer
yeah,
about it.
and the greatest thing to do for them is say, hey, you know what? Other kids are like this too. And you're not alone in this. It's just I don't have an understanding of it, being the parent, talking to the child. The parent could say, I don't have an understanding of it, but doesn't mean what you're seeing isn't real. That's amazing that you have this gift. That's so awesome. I wish I did.
Mhm.
Let's find out more ways to help you.
Really build that up with them. That's a great idea. Um, how do you distinguish with a child's imagination and their intuitive and spiritual experiences?
I would say the consistency of how often they're seeing it. There is some kids that probably do have a great imagination. They saw a movie and all of a sudden they're having a dream and it's getting into their imagination and they're waking up scared. But if it's they don't want to be in their room, maybe in the daytime to play with their toys or to go to the bathroom by themselves in the daytime, the nighttime, there's something consistently going on, and that's when you can investigate.
Okay, okay. So when the children see spirit and they're fearful, um, how do you handle the fear?
Removing the
They might wake up crying, or how do you handle that?
removing the fear is all about empowerment in the first place. So if you empower them and let them know, like, hey, you can tell them to go away. They're like, I can? Yes. And that all have a bubble inside of us, a protective bubble, and we have to call upon that bubble and that light that we all have inside of us. When you empower kids with those tools, they know to draw from it. I just got to go to a home over the weekend. I had a gal reach out to me and she says, hey, you were at my house many, many years ago. And we stayed in contact. So I knew who was calling me, who was contacting me. And I had gone to see them, gosh, it was 7 or 8 years ago. So, the little girl's 11 now, where before
Oh,
way different scenario when you're 11. And so I went in, I brought my sage. I determined, the feeling in the house. Definitely felt more energy in her room than I did anywhere else. I asked permission to sage the home, and I showed them how to sage, it's all about the intention. And I gave the little girl some thoughts for the nighttime of like, when you start to, when you start to see things, what's the feeling? And she goes, I get the worst stomach ache. I can feel it. They're coming in my room, and it's very consistent spirit. It's a woman in white, she calls her. And she just stares at her. And I said, why don't you ask her what she wants? Sometimes you can hear them verbally. Maybe she understand her verbally or internally. But she says, I've been too afraid. And I said, and that's okay. If you're not able to ask that question, that's okay. But know that you can tell her, I'm too young for this and you're really bothering my space. I need you to leave my room now. And she's like, I can say that. And I said, yes, you can. It's your room. It's your body. It's your space. Spirit will listen. You have to be consistent with them, and you have to have a clear boundary.
So this girl that you're talking to, did I hear this correctly? She's 11 years old right now?
Yes.
That you're giving her that advice. Okay, well, that gives her power. Yes. That she has some control, and that spirit is not in control. So that was recently. So you don't know how it's going with her now?
It was Saturday, and I called on Sunday and asked how it was going. And she says, she still ended up in my bed last night, but you could tell that she was trying to bring it out. But she said, my stomach doesn't hurt as much as it usually does.
Good.
The little baby steps count. It won't be overnight. And that's what you need to remember. It's the consistency. The one thing I always tell parents, though, to not do is to don't put a little bottle of Monster spray on the side of the bed. You're showing kids that there's such things as monsters. And for the most part, when they're visited by spirit, that's just their family members loving on them, or somebody that used to live in the house. And they're just visiting. They're not doing anything wrong, but they are invading their space. And to the kid, that is wrong. But to just use their own power from within, put their hand out and say, you need to go away. You need to leave me alone. I'm too young for this. And have that voice.
I never used a Monster spray with my kids. And then, I don't know. I never heard of that, but I guess parents do that. That's what they think is going to work to make their kids feel better.
Pretty much just in the kid's mind says, oh, there's such things as monsters, and now I can't sleep.
Right. And these are not monsters that are coming into their space at all. Yeah, that's interesting. I like it that you're empowering the child. And if her tummy hurt, would that be fear?
Yes, I think for the most part it's fear, and it's just knowing that she's seeing something that other people aren't, and it just gives you this. My stomach hurt all the time. My daughter's stomach hurt all the time. We went through so many Tums.
Oh, really?
So I know the symptoms of it. And so when she says my tummy hurts, and sometimes the clothes get really uncomfortable, and and it's just their body's reacting to something very viscerally from what they're seeing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's so interesting. Oh my gosh. Okay. Um, are there some other ways that parents can help with healthy boundaries with the spiritual energies? Because that spirit came back to her. What would you suggest to that child
Yeah, that's
or mom or whatever?
very consistent in her life for a long time. So bring the whole family in on more energetic energy. That there's the energetic push in the family, the better, the stronger it is. So if mom and dad unite, if a sister or an aunt may be present, for all of them to say, this is sacred space. You need to leave this child alone. And that energy in the family pushes it out. It's even stronger. And sage as often as you can, and let them know, hey, you're just not welcome here. And it could be a grandmother energy. It could be a neighbor that passed away. But if the child is uncomfortable, they're not welcome there. Period.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. They need to feel safe in their own surroundings, in their bedroom, and all that. I have a 3.5-year-old granddaughter, and I haven't noticed her like daydreaming or talking to other, um, entities. I'm just hoping that starts growing in her too.
Yeah, it's so amazing. It's a beautiful gift, and I love watching it envelop in children. But when it starts to cause problems in school or with their friends, or they're not sleeping, that's when we need to put the boundaries up.
Exactly. Well, you're gonna have to keep me updated on that child. I want to know what happens with. Um, do you approach that with her that this is a gift, that this is a gift that many people, that everybody has, to be
I
able to see spirit?
Yeah, she knows I'm a medium, and so that helped because I've been in communication with the mom for years, and so she knew me coming in what to expect. But I sat with her for about a half hour before we did anything, and I just told her about how she's very strong, and this is a beautiful gift that she has, and that not a lot of people have it. And it's like seeing the world with a different set of glasses that only we can see. And I said, that's a special thing. And don't think of it as a curse, because once you understand it and you can tell them to go away, it can be a beautiful development of your gifts. And later on in life, she could be doing what I'm doing, or she could tell the spirit world, no thank you, I don't want to. But she's
Right.
when I was telling her that, you could tell that she was just like, this is cool. And she's also an empathic little girl. And so, with that gift, the empathic ability really is usually there. Not everybody's an empathic who sees spirit. But the other reason that she is overwhelmed is she holds a lot of energy for others. And that's what empathic is. And so,
Let's talk about the empathic
yeah.
child. Yeah.
So hold that in the conversation with her as well, so that she'd understand. And I go, your role in this world is really important. And she looked at me, and I said, empathic hold energy for others where they can't hold it for themselves. But we have the ability to say, oh, it's too heavy, I'm dropping it. And we release it. And our body naturally knows how to do that by grounding and setting up boundaries. And that I have a feeling you're a little girl who all your friends come to for advice. And her eyes got really big. And she looked at her mom, and mom told me just the other night her friend called her because there was talk of suicide on to an 11-year-old girl.
That's what just went through my mind. An 11-year-old girl, one of her friends.
I said, you felt very
Oh
empowered.
gosh.
Yeah. I said, you felt very empowered to help her, didn't you? And she says, I did. I did. And I said, and it's because,
Oh gosh, Teresa.
like,
Sorry, I'm getting really cold over here.
and empathic people like us, we can help save the world. And I believe that's why we are empathic. And that's why we do hold space for people. And
Would you define for the audience what empathic is, please?
so an empathic person is one that feels everybody's energy in their environment. We also feel the energy of trees. We feel the energy of the ocean, of the grass. We're very in tune with nature. We just feel so much around us. So empathic people are usually highly anxiety filled because they really think that it's their energy. that they're feeling, when instead they just walked into a grocery store and they were perfectly fine prior to it. So that's
Right.
how you tell if there's an empathic ability, because you woke up feeling fine, you went to the store, and all of a sudden you're like, I got to get out of here.
Got to get out of here. Yeah.
You're starting to get, your clothes are getting itchy on you. You're starting to, like, the tags are getting bothering you. Your stomach hurts. You're holding space for other people. You're holding their energy. So before you walk into an area, that action all around you, and keep that energy out. But empathic people, are the ones where people come to a lot, like this little girl. I can't tell you how many of my friends back in school I was the one. I was the one. And so I took on a lot of energy that did not belong to me. But for some, because that's what the universe chose.
But did you have fear around that being having the children come to you, or was that more comforting that you could help them?
I think it was more comforting. When I was growing up, I felt like I was needed. And so
Mm-hmm.
from the family that I did, feeling needed felt very wonderful. So
Mm-hmm.
I didn't mind that gift, that part of my gift at all. My empathic ability was always something that's just shown up.
When you discovered your abilities, I mean, when you started to shine and you started your going down the mediumship psychic road, how did that change your relationship with your mom and your family members?
Actually, I think it grew us all together. They kind of finally understood me. I was black sheep of the family, so to speak. I was that, the weird one or the odd one or the different one. It was just like, oh, that's what was going on with you.
Well, do they ask you questions
Oh,
too?
oh yeah. My sister's lost 3 children, and so I've been able to bring through her son to her. He was 35 years old. He died 2 years ago, and I was able to a quick little message one day about 2 weeks after he died, and she was just like, she was stunned, but she also
Mhm.
things from other people. I don't do well reading from my family because I know too much.
Yeah, that can be a problem. Hmm.
There's no
Yeah.
like, oh, you pegged it. It's like, you pegged it because you already know it. So that makes it difficult. But being there for my sister was really cool. It was a really neat first experience for me with my family, being able to give a message. I'm like, oh, that was awesome.
That is pretty cool. Yeah. Well, I think that sometimes empathic children get picked on too
They do.
because they're very sensitive.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
so funny how when I'm giving a reading to a family, to a person, and their family comes up in my readings, I'm like, oh, you have an 8-year-old son. And this happened about a year and a half ago to a gal here in town. And I go, oh, they want to talk about your 8-year-old son. And her eyes are like what? Yeah, what? And she goes, my son's 8 this weekend. And I'm like, yeah, your
Yeah.
mom, your mom told me, and spirit that's showing me this. It was her mom that was showing me, saying, hey, I want to talk about my grandson because he's an empath and he's struggling, and I want to help him. So mom on the other side, grandma was helping. And so grandma was the one that was saying, hey, my grandson is 8 years old and he is struggling in school. And so when I was giving this message to this gal, I said, um, this, and this, is this what's going on in school? And she goes, yeah. And so
Mhm.
her was no more video games, or at least on a very limited amount, because video games is all about input. Empathic children are already getting enough input. They do not need video games. They need
And that to me is frenzied energy too, the video games.
so much, so much. And then to counteract any video games, he needs to he or she needs to paint, needs to do art, needs to get out. They need to take in all this energy. That's why art therapy is so wonderful. And just painting, just getting a ream of paper and hanging on the wall and let them paint. That's going to get all this energy that they feel stuck.
Oh,
Mold
nice.
clay into different shapes and stuff, that takes all that energy out. Ground themselves in the earth every day, putting their feet in the grass without any shoes on.
That's
And
cool, Teresa.
just, yeah, this is just, oh my gosh, I got a call back from her 3 days later, and she said, Theresa, my son's teacher just asked me today, what's so different about the house? What's going on? And she was just like, oh no, she thought things were getting worse.
Uh-oh.
She said, no, everything's better. Like he started taking Himalayan salt baths at night. So she was putting Himalayan salt bath and giving him a bath and lighting a candle and then letting him just lay there in quiet. And then she was putting.
How old is this boy?
Was 8.
8. Okay.
Yeah. And so children respond to it well when it starts to work and they're feeling it and it's like, I want to do more. And so between the Himalayan salt baths and the grounding and the painting and doing clay work, doing anything like that, and coming home and dropping his backpack before he walked through the house. I don't want to take any energy of school into my home.
Well, that's interesting.
All to the ground, dropping it all to the ground. And then 3 days, the whole family and the teacher noticed a difference. So I was so tickled. I go, well, you can thank mom. She was the one that told me about your son. So that's where it came from.
No, that's great advice. That's really good advice. This is going to help a lot of parents and caregivers and grandparents too that don't understand all that. Yes. And I just learned a lot too about that.
And it's so amazing when you start to get it and you have the aha moments. And I also tell people to wear black stones, black obsidian, tourmaline around the neck. They can wear earrings. They can wear a bracelet. It's a protector of energy. It just keeps that energy away from even beginning to come into the body. And a Himalayan salt lamp at night next to the bed. It keeps that negative energy away. And so they can go to bed in more of a peaceful way. I have people that invested one in every room of their house, and they're like, the difference in energy is just.
Are you talking about the lamps?
Yeah, the Himalayan.
Okay.
Yeah, so between the baths and the lamps, it's really, really good.
Well, that's such a peaceful, beautiful light too. So if it is in your bedroom, it's not going to be bothering you either.
Yeah, I have people use them as their night lights for children because they really made a difference in their rooms. Because for one thing, it keeps, energy away, but it soaks in energy that is not wanted.
Theresa, these are great tips. They really are.
These
are really, I think they're going to help a lot of parents, especially ones that haven't experienced those types of things and they got a child that does and they don't know exactly quite what to do.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite subjects is working with kids. When people message me and say, hey, I got a child who's showing this, this, and this, and this. And I'm like, ooh, I got some advice for you. And I have people message me all the time on my healingheartsmedium.com page, my website, and submit a question. And that's really one of the highest ones that are put on there is about their kids.
Really?
More happy because if we can start with the little ones,
yes.
And we won't have so many adults that have so many issues with because we're gonna understand them.
Yeah, I just want more love, compassion, and empathy into the world, so let's start early and explore this and not think that we're oddballs for feeling a certain way.
We can normalize what kids are seeing, like with the spirits in their rooms, and normalize it and say, that's really awesome. I wish I could see them. That's a great thing to say to a 6-year-old because then they're like, oh, you wish you could? Oh, must not be so bad now. Okay, that's cool. That's cool.
Well, and somebody understands them.
Yes.
And someone's validating what they're saying and not, that's, negating it in any way too. So that's really good.
Yes, absolutely.
Theresa, those are great tips. Are there any more before, that you can think of?
Let's see. Besides the talking with the kids and letting them explore it in a creative way, being open for any time they're scared and coming to them at night and
yes,
letting the kids sleep with you is okay. It's okay if they're that afraid.
Yeah.
An open bed. That's another the advice that I can give is keep communication open so much. But if that child is still scared and they want to come and sleep in your bed, don't don't force them to go back to a bedroom that's so scary that they can't sleep and they feel like they can't even go to the bathroom, you know. And if that's another thing I wanted to mention. Child behaviors, when they start to see spirits, can really shift and change. Like I was saying, they don't want to play in their room and this and that. They also start wetting the bed again because they don't want to get up and go to the bathroom in the middle of the night.
Oh,
So
interesting.
they can revert back to peeing the bed and having accidents.
Mm-hmm.
Other thing to look for. And then ask the question like, oh, did you just drink too much water last night, or was there something else? Open that conversation so kids can feel welcome. Like, well, I was a little scared. Okay, well, what were you scared about? Can you talk to me about that? If you open up the door, kids are going to talk to you. But if you keep those doors closed, they got a lot of secrets.
And I think parents aren't prepared for that. They don't know those things because
If
they haven't experienced it or they don't understand it.
Yes. Yeah. I remember I'm surprised I didn't have bladder problems when I was a kid because I up and go to the bathroom. I never I never reverted back to, peeing the bed or anything like that. But I remember just holding it and being awake. And that means I was awake from 3 o'clock on.
Oh, no.
3 o'clock on until everybody was up. And then I was like dashing for the bathroom.
Oh, wow. I'm thinking they're getting up around 7 o'clock or something. That's a long time to have to.
I had a lot of nights where I just felt like there's no way I'm going to the bathroom. There's no way. I remember. Yeah.
You're too scared. Yeah.
Keep those lines of communication open and keep your bedroom door open for the kids to come in and feel welcome. And don't let them feel like they're in this space all by themselves and they have no one to turn to.
I've never closed my bedroom door when I had my kids.
Not once.
And I don't think I closed their bedroom doors.
I always wanted to hear if anything was going on.
Yeah, because you want to be there. Yeah.
Childhood. Yeah. I'm like, oh no, I'm not going to let them be alone. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Wow, that's really an enlightening conversation. I'm really glad you are sharing that on the channel, and I think you're going to help a lot of people. And I know I've learned a lot too, so that's even better. I love learning.
Me too.
So we got kids to see spirits, empathic children. Are we done with those subjects? Because there's one more thing I want to talk to you about if we're done with those.
Good. Yeah. And if anybody has any questions, they can totally reach out to me on my website and ask any further questions. And I will respond. I respond to all of them.
And I see it go by right now so that you can get her website right off of there. healingheartsmedium.com. And she'll help you out. And you have a little surprise that you'd like to share with us too.
I do, and because of my experiences with being a child and having all the experiences with spirits, and then having a daughter, I decided that this is something that's super important to me. So I decided to write a book about it, and it's Sebastian Discovers His Superpower.
Oh, very cool. Now, is Sebastian one of the children in your family?
No, actually, my grandson's name is Daxton, and I wanted to kind of rhyme it with Sebastian. And
good idea.
Yeah, I've always loved that name as well. But Sebastian Discovers a Superpower is super important to me because of the message. It's about a little boy who goes to his Nana and says, Nana, I'm seeing things in my room. And she says, oh, I see things too. That's a gift. And she lets him know that that's his superpower. And he goes, I don't want it. I don't want it. And I don't want it. And she says, but it's like a firefighter who's brave. That's his superpower. And a teacher who has this incredible knowledge. That's her superpower. You were given this gift, and that is your superpower. But you can say no to it right now while you're too young, and you can put up your hand and say, go away, and you can use your wall of light inside of you and say, I need you to get away from me right now. This is my bedroom and my space. So she empowered the boy so that he could sleep in his room alone again. And so that's the basis of the story. And then it moves on to being bullied at school and how to handle that when you're different. And
good idea. Awesome. Really good.
And it moves on to being to realizing that kindness is a superpower, and that most of all, Sebastian wants to be kind to people, and that he feels that that's his superpower. And so I wrote this book for children like myself, my daughter, and all the other little girls and boys out there who are struggling right now with this gift, because it is a gift. And I want to make sure parents know this so they don't treat it like it's the plague. It's something that, oh my gosh, that's a darkness in our family, because it's not. The things that your child can do in the world,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
there's no measure to it.
What age group would you consider this book for?
I wrote it to 4 to 9 because
4 to
children
9.
start
Okay.
spirits about 4, and they stop seeing them generally about 9, when the school is more interesting, friends are more interesting, and they're not really talking about it after that age. But I wanted it to stay very centered in that, because the older kids, like the 11-year-old, she loved it. She was reading it the other day that I gave, that I went to her home. I gave her a copy, and she was just like, I love this. And so 11-year-old, but we put it from 4 to 9.
Did you sign the book for her?
I forgot to. Oh my gosh.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I've remembered a couple times, but yeah, it came out a few weeks ago on Amazon, so I'm still trying to get my head wrapped around it,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah.
With you being a more recent author as well, to your second book.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I know that you want to write a lot of children's books. I'm being steered away from that now. I'm back to adults and love stories and parallel universes and things that I don't know things about. So I'm going to be learning a lot as I go along.
I love all of it, but Spirit is definitely pushing me and guiding me in this direction, because the stories won't stop. I already have about 3 more written, and so I just need my illustrator to catch up with me, and she's amazing. She did all of these by hand, every single drawing. Nothing was done on the computer. Every single drawing was by hand. This is little Sebastian telling spirits to go away.
Oh, that's nice. That's very cute. Would you just mention your first book really quickly for people that don't know about that?
First book was just a gift of love for my daughter who lost a child. And so I have my first granddaughter in spirit, and her name is Adelie. So Adelie came to me and said, Nana, I'm going to be a big sister, and my mommy's going to have a baby brother. And it didn't happen for another year plus. So this was knowledge with her. So it was kind of cool to have the secret of knowing that I know that I was going to have a little grandson, which I do. He's 2 now.
Mm-hmm. Is his name Sebastian?
Daxton, Daxton, Daxton.
Oh, Baxton.
Yeah. Okay. And so Adelie, I decided to write the book for her, and it's Adelie, the Angel Becomes a Sister.
Yeah.
And that's available on Amazon too. It's a story about loss, and about how even after her passing away, how she's still there, just in a different way, that she's in our family every single day as an angel.
That's beautiful. Well, you're just going to have a whole collection that people can have on their bookshelf, which is really nice.
Hey, can't wait.
And then they can use those books when they're adults and have children, because the message will not change.
Message will not change. And all my books are going to be a message of love from Spirit, and a message about how, our gifts are really part of us, and that we should embrace them and love them instead of being fearful of them.
Right, right. Well, when parents don't understand, they don't know how to help, and they don't know where to turn either. So this is a really good informational video that we made. Really, it is.
I hope everybody enjoyed, and I appreciate you, Karen.
Oh my God, I just it was really good. I love all the tips you offered and what parents can do, and also offering up yourself to for people to ask questions too.
Absolutely.
So, thank you for being so giving, my friend.
Send your questions my way. I would love to help.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to say before we wrap up?
We hit on every subject we could. I love it. Thank you.
Okay. Well, always a pleasure having you on the channel, and I just want to thank you so much.
Thanks, Karen. I appreciate it. Bye now.
Okay, we'll talk with you later. And I want an update on that child sometime, okay? Oh. Yeah. All right. Thank you very much, Theresa.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.